I'm BJ Dorman. I'm chairman of CEO Space, and I'm here on CEO Space TV. Ed Bogle has been a top coach to some of the top 100 Fortune companies. Been in banking. He's coached at major oil company levels. He's coached a lot of financial companies. He's done merger acquisition work. He does a lot of strategy for hyper-growth companies. Probably his favorite space. He's done so much Fortune work. I think his favorite space is the hyper-growth ramp-up. He enjoys that. And getting the resale price and the merger acquisition price and being involved in the merger acquisitions and being on your boards and helping you on the way up. He is on the board of CEO Space. And so when we get a board member telling you how it works, and it is a Fortune level coach on contract with larger companies, you've got a big brain that's helping you. And we're so grateful to have Ed Bogle on CEO Space TV with us.
When I came here 6 years ago, I was skeptical. I'll be the first to admit that, because I'd been to a lot of business seminars and it didn't work for me. And I came in on a Sunday, attended a couple of classes. I came as a student first because I like to immerse and understand the model. And, I thought, well, okay, it's another business seminar. And, you look at the scheduling and you look at that stuff. By Tuesday night, I was talking with people in the hallways, endless, didn't want to go to bed, found all sorts of things that I didn't have the knowledge base on that I wanted to learn more about. A lot of that was the early 6, 7 years ago when I came here first. There was, it was the early web stuff. What's the web mean and that kind of stuff. We have leading experts here. So it was, it's not just another seminar. It is that absolute, and we pride ourselves on what do you need now? What are you working on and what do you need now? And that's what we deliver. What do you need now? Yeah. Like I personally come here to coach and collaborate and work with people, open my Rolodex. Got a pretty substantial Rolodex doing what I've done for nearly 30 years as a consultant now in the strategy world. And, you come to this thing, you certainly get the MBA. In fact, I call it the accelerated MBA level. We got the breakthrough guys here, the guys that have figured out how to do it, how to make it work and that kind of stuff. We stand on our reputation. And I come here personally, I coach, I'll do 60 to 70 private sessions in the course of 8 days. And never do I mention a single word about any of my services. I'm here to coach those people that come here. That's what makes this thing work. It's the collaboration, the cooperation.
There's probably 5,000 hours of private coaching going on.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, 5,000 hours of coaching, and it continues after the forum. This is a membership event. This is not a come, learn, see, circulate, that kind of stuff. You're sitting at meal tables, 10 straight meal tables, 6 hours a day. And in addition to that, you've got the private, you're interacting with the people that are here. These are CEOs of their own companies. They're looking for networks and providers and people they can bundle with and perform alliances to improve their business. These are the top of the entrepreneurial world. It's just an absolute thrill to be here. Yeah, you mentioned earlier, I do a lot of Fortune 100, Fortune 50 work, but this entrepreneurial space, we get to see the next events of what's going on. I'm doing a lot of deep stuff in well care right now. There's a ton going on inside of CEO Space in well care and green, clean, sustainable. We've got
very exciting new Google level things coming up that are, like NASA with his $1 billion project. Just very exciting to watch that level of contractual completion happen.
Yeah.
NASA came to me this morning after we collaborated with my building team, engineering team that we've done a little over $10 billion of construction over just the last 4 years worldwide. And he has been able to close a $1 billion contract as of this morning. Thank you.
Well, really, once I got here, I hooked up with a team here at Veritech Coal and just started scouting for them and helped them find a $50 million investor.
Got written commitments from 2 investors, one for $5 million and one for $30 million.
Everyone comes here and we work very hard at understanding the cooperative model and that kind of stuff. And the thrill to me is when we're sitting at these mills tables and people are leaning in. They're anxious to hear what you're doing. They're anxious to understand what you're doing. They want to find better ways of doing things. If you can't get a dozen and a half customers coming out of the CEO space, you haven't followed the process very well, in my opinion. It happens every time. We have those 6 hours of meal tables every day. You have your presentations. Those presentations at night create a buzz. And it builds and it builds and it builds the momentum. I don't know of any other trade show on earth that even comes close to creating that kind of environment. By the time you get to the end of the week, literally you will have met hundreds of business owners. You will have found your customers. You will have found the networks that can help you solve any of your business problems. It's an accelerator. I've never seen anything like it before. I mean, you know, what do? Open up the yellow pages, start hunting for this? No, they're all right here. And they're all leaning in saying, how can I help you now?
You can't really convey it, but I mean, if they knew how much fun it was, they'd be here.
Well, first part of the thrill of that is actually having literally hundreds of people come up to you and say, what are you working on? What do you need now? How can I help you? And it makes it fun. It makes it entertaining. It makes it, because everybody's on that tune and exchanging their see me cards, as we call them. See me. I want an appointment with you. I want to understand more about your program. And that creates it. You will see people literally, we have areas where people gather and they exchange. This goes on, we try and encourage everybody to get to bed and get to sleep, but people just get so involved in this. And it's such a thrill. My thrill, a lot of my thrill coming here is I help a lot of people. It's fun to watch them succeed and that kind of stuff. They may never have engaged me. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because we help them build those businesses and make the connection. I'm more valuable to my clients. Well, I've gotten a ton out of this, Bernie. I'm more valuable to my clients now because I have this Rolodex that's at least 10 to 15 times size it was before I came here. I solve business problems. It's that connection and that connectivity. And this goes back 21 years now, 22 years. That's a lot of connectivity going backwards too. And in the go forward space here, we have an absolute ball. I call this my second home. I really love this space.
He's chairman of the company. I think it's a huge company in the making called BuzzCard, and I want you to see what it is. Show us how that works.
All right. BuzzCard is an interactive marketing card that plugs into the computer USB and it launches a marketing application all built around the branding and agenda of that client. But it's all based in the cloud. So there's actually no memory on this. This is just the call to action from that face-to-face endeavor, be it direct mail, trade show or event, or even on pack on a piece of apparel that drives that user to an online experience.
The value is actually coming back, isn't it?
Well, yeah, coming back and then following up on the people you met originally and then actually implementing some projects and then be able to bring that and showcase those projects to the people that are now seeing it for the first time, but seeing it live and in session. So I met Wynn, the Women's Information Network, and
that's 2.5 million women.
Yeah, she's fired up on it.
So that's a pretty good deal.
That's a pretty good deal, right? And then trying to have them, even from her perspective, helps her see the vision of how you could use this from a sponsorship perspective. So she aligns with, one of those corporate sponsors, and now they get their logo on this as well as the network, and then it just helps facilitate that interaction with, their user base.
Can you tell the person that's a little anxious and reserved how to get over the procrastination and make that decision?
Well, I think the thing is it's very much akin to when I first came to
I was
CEOs.
thinking of that. It's like,
I was skeptical.
No, you were the president of the Skeptics Association.
Pretty much, and you and I met for breakfast and we talked, and I was still skeptical.
I went to a deposition.
Yeah,
is what you put me through.
Well, in all fairness, that was true, but you also immediately started coaching me. And that was the one thing, whether you knew that or not, I don't know if I've ever shared that with you, that encouraged me. I said, okay, the guy just turned around and made an investment in me. He talked about me. He talked about what I was working on and how he could help me in a perspective that I hadn't thought about in my business. So he gave me that direction and that changed. I said, okay, that right there is enough to I got about half my ROI on what I was about to write a check for right there at breakfast before I ever showed up for a meeting. By Monday night, Tuesday night, I had at least 2x of my return, just because of the connections I had made. And I actually met a gentleman that said, gee, I really want to talk to you about engaging me. But again, I wasn't in the high,
You were just a guest going through.
Yeah, I was a guest going through, and ultimately that guy hired me and that kind of stuff. So, but it's just that the return on investment is there, okay? And what's surprising about it was things that I didn't necessarily expect. So, we have the money back guarantee. Your return on investment isn't there. I'll be surprised, and I'd really like to hear from you personally.
Being able to actually sit with many of the instructors, folks that had built international businesses, work with governments, and they talk to you just like a person you met down in the corner, at a drugstore or something. It's been remarkable. You can ask them any types of questions that you'd like, and they're very free to talk to you. I've got so many meetings lined up after this that I'm just really excited and want to get back and dive right into that because I know it's going to help our business grow. Plus the affiliations that we've been able to start to put together already, it's got to be worth multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars at least, and maybe more than that, depending on how much we continue to participate and grow, stay plugged in, keep showing up, and then execute after the meetings.